And welcome back. We are now at part 2 of the week of the 17th's new comics, bitches! That's August 17th, by the way. So, Daredevil, number 2. Mark Waid really seems to... Now, I was a fan of the first issue. I was a little bit skeptical because Mark Waid can be kind of a hit-or-miss writer. But when he hits, he's dead on. Coming to mind, Kingdom Come. I think that's probably my favorite Elseworlds tale. But he's kind of all over the place. He's done a lot of writing for a lot of different comics over the years. But he's obviously a very seasoned storyteller, and that shows particularly in this issue of Daredevil. Basically, it's Old Hornhead versus Cap. So here's Captain America again. This time he's in full dress. That is the problem when you have these comics and when they're released. And in this issue that came out this same week, we've still got Commander Steve Rogers in an issue that came out last week. Steve is in the costume. He's fighting Sin and Fear itself. So a lot of this kind of bouncing around. Anywho, the reason that Cap is after Daredevil, so to speak, is that he wants to bring him in. Basically, he wants to arrest him because of the crimes that he had committed during the Shadowland incident. Now, this was when Daredevil was possessed by a demon. He was little more than a puppet. And he feels that this reflects on why Cap wants so badly to bring Daredevil in, because he maybe feels similarly about Bucky, that Bucky was a puppet for a long time, and that Steve maybe feels he feels more responsibility than he should. And there is a nice little nod back to the 60s when Cap was reintroduced into the Marvel Universe, and and Daredevil was also introduced into the Marvel Universe. So that was a neat little aside there. The investigation continues into the police brutality case against this guy Jobrani. This is all stuff left over from the previous issue. Basically, no lawyer in town wants to take this case. And then he speaks to another lawyer, another defense attorney. Or not defense attorney, but he's more like... See, this is kind of a lawsuit, really. So it's not really defense. It's a plaintiff, whatever you want to call it. It's more like a civil action rather than a criminal one. He's trying to find out, why no one else will take this case, why everybody seems to be getting scared off of it. And people, he talks to this one other lawyer who has been scared off of it. They don't make a big deal about this lawyer, the fact that this other lawyer is gay. But it is, it's there. So, but again, maybe it's just one of those things where it's like, well, we don't really care anymore. It's New York, gays are now allowed to marry, so I guess it's a little bit more acceptable, which is fine. I mean, again, I'm glad that they don't make an issue out of it, I guess. But it's all, it is nice to see more, LGBT characters, and I hope this is a guy that comes back. This particular character, anyway. But this lawyer gives him kind of a clue as to what might be going on, but inadvertently. It's not really like it's something that would be really important to someone else, but Hornhead decides that this is definitely worth investigating. So he goes into the old shop that this Jobrani guy, the plaintiff in the case, as it were, was that's closed down, he starts looking, and there are a bunch of claws there. And I don't mean claws like but claws like as in the character Ulysses Claw. He's made out of pure sound energy. And he's in, and Dee Dee ends up in maybe some deep shit here. So, Paulo Rivera's art is awesome. To me, it's very reminiscent of Marcos Martin, which in turn, it's very reminiscent. It's kind of it is kind of a retro feel, but without being purposefully retro. I guess that's the best way that I can describe it. It is meant to be. It's just meant to be really beautiful art, but it does have a very retro kind of feel. So that's really nice. I mean, again, it's a really solid issue. I'm definitely enjoying Daredevil. That now that Mark Waid's on top of it, it's just it's not kind of it's definitely more of a kind of the the Scarlet Swashbuckler that's from the 60s and 70s. Or the early 70s. This is definitely not like your Frank Miller, Brian Bendis, Ed Brubaker Daredevil. This guy is a little bit more lighthearted because that's how he's chosen to deal with it. Anyway, but again, solid issue. Now on to, we're going to talk about Cap again, and that's Captain America #2. So this is Brubaker and McNiven doing the duties here. This is, Cap's, one of his old allies is now a foe. This is codenamed Bravo. And, as the book opens up, Cap is like wandering in this very, kind of frozen, barren wasteland. And basically what we find out here, and this is where the issue starts to throw me off, is that this kid that calls himself Jimmy Jupiter, the reason he kind of calls himself that is that he can actually access what they call the land of nowhere. Yeah, it's basically like a dream world. He can go into other people's dreams, and that's why they have this kid back in World War II, back in the 40s. He's their way in. Basically, he can open this portal into this dream world, and then out the other side comes Cap and all of his merry band to beat the crap out of Hydra. Unfortunately, something does happen while the portal is while people are in the portal. Because the portal is very like it's very dreamlike. It's very weird. It's very unusual. And like dinosaurs come out and shit like that, and but Jimmy's whacked over the head by one of them, by a Hydra agent. He's knocked out cold, and the portal closes. So who knows how long this codename Bravo and some other people might have been trapped in this dimension, this dream, the land of nowhere type of thing. Push comes to shove here, as we found out more about that mission, and there are some really cool moments with Cap and the rest of them in action, because there's Cap, there's Sharon, there's Nick, there's Dum Dum, and they're all kind of backing him up, and that's fun. There is a very redheaded woman, very beautiful redheaded woman who seems to be like heading up this particular Hydra branch unit, whatever you want to call it, and they refer to her as Queen. So it's not Madam Hydra. But this is somebody who's definitely into Hydra. And this codename Bravo actually enters into Sharon's dream, and kind of kind of romances her. You know, she want, you know, he, you know, like he instinctively knows that what she wants is adventure and combat and all that kind of fun stuff. And you know, when she wakes up, everything seems somewhat normal until a 20-foot Captain America smashes in Steve's window and starts pulling him out. And now it's like, what the fuck? I mean, okay, because here's the thing. This is what scares me. I love Ed Brubaker. As I think I've said any number of times, he's my favorite writer in comics. Although he certainly has a lot of competition. He's my favorite currently consistently working writer. Although, like I said, he's definitely getting a lot of competition from people like Nick Spencer and Scott Snyder and, you know, John Hickman and you know, Brian K. Vaughan. But he's, you know, he kind of disappears and reappears, and of course Robert Kirkman, I would say would be kind of like his main competition. But I used to love Grant Morrison before he started doing stuff. Before he started doing Batman. Before he started regularly writing Batman, because you know, Arkham Asylum, Serious House, and Serious is brilliant. I love it. It's great. The story suits Morrison's style. You know, very weird, very bizarre, very uncomfortable. And when he started to bring in a lot of like the 60s subplots and the dream shit and you know, all this kind of almost psychedelia and the, you know, the Batman from Zur-En-Arrh, you know, that popped up during the R.I.P. saga, it was like, what the fuck is going on here? And that's why I'm a little scared about this whole kind of dream, you know, this land of nowhere, and this being, you know, because I guess what I'm used to from Cap and Brubaker is really high stakes, world-saving, secret mission, you know, action, you know, not all action, but very heavy character work, you know, very important, you know, side characters, you know, and that Cap is there to, you know, that it's more about the character than it is about the action. And I'm not getting that, and I certainly did not get that vibe in this issue. I didn't tremendously get it from from number one either. Now it's still there in Captain America and Bucky, but this one, it does concern me a little bit. I guess it's not that I don't want Brubaker to grow or expand or, you know, take a different tack to his you know, to his you know, to characters that he's helped repopularize, reinvigorate. It's just that when it starts to get into this weird kind of, you know, pseudo meta stuff, that's where I start to, you know, that's where my brain starts to kind of tune out. It's like, you know what? If it doesn't suit the character, it doesn't work. Because in order for a good story to work, it does ultimately have to suit what the character does. Cap doesn't fight dreams. You know, Cap, you know, is kind of, one might say, is an embodiment of the American dream, but he doesn't, you know, but that's in, you know, that's in a very, you know, that's in a very non-literal sense. You know, this, you know, it's not like he is the American dream embodied. And something, you know, like something like this, it just kind of scares me. I mean, it's still a solid issue. You know, and McNiven's art is really nice, although he does have some, the inkers I don't think are doing the best job on this issue. It looks a little rushed. But yeah, it concerns me a little bit, which is why, I mean, I would still recommend it, but it just, you know, I guess as a diehard fan of Brubaker stuff, it does scare me a little. So we're going to see it in just a few moments. We're going to be on to part 3. So stick around.